Well, it's actually a pretty small battlefield right here, and another unique tile set as well. I actually really like the variety in the battlefields that we've so far seen in A Clash of Kings 7.1. Welcome back, Reformers. And we're going to be attacking another one of these Lannister vassals that have shown themselves to be a bit of a nuisance. And we're going to attempt to take him out. He does only have about 50 or so units, so it shouldn't be too difficult, but he was attempting to take Harvest Hall again, because Dragonstone, for some reason, is taking this thing, and then they are leaving. And they're not defending it for some reason. I don't know why they're doing that, but that's just what they're doing. It's very strange. So I have decided to take it upon myself to be a little bit more active in what I am attempting to do in terms of defense, and we'll see how that goes, because as it stands right now, I think that it's pretty difficult for me to defend by myself. I mean, obviously, you know, that's kind of to be expected in many ways, because you can't really, you know, if you're one person, you can't really expect to be in, I don't know, 5, 6 different places at once. So basically what we have to do is try and pick our battles much more wisely as time goes on, and just make it so that we really don't have to split our attention in so many different areas. Now, I did manage to find a Ransom Broker, and I sold for about 3,000, was it 3,000? I think it was like 2,200 or something along those lines, so I think it was pretty decent. But obviously I also sold a bunch of armor and things like that, and I also gained a bit of cash from there. But I also did go back to my treasury and I took out a little bit of money, because you know what I did? I actually bought an enterprise in Ashford, because if obviously Stannis is not going to be giving me the fief to have control over, you know, to own it, then the next best thing is to get a business there. And let me tell you, if you're looking for a good place to put a weavery and dye works, I highly recommend Ashford, because apparently it's crazy good. I didn't know it was crazy good, but apparently it is. I don't know whether this is just due to the many wars that are going on in this area, but velvet and the actual goods that the Weavery and Dye Works produces apparently is going to give me almost 900 per week. I don't know whether that's just literally because it's Ashford, or whether it's just due to my game being, you know, a little bit more unique because of what we've so far done with our quests and so on and so forth, so the trade might be a little bit different. But I'm actually pretty happy about that, to be honest. I think that's really cool. Unfortunately, this guy managed to escape, which is not great, but what can you do about it, really? Can't really do much about it. And there's a shield as well. Alright, so what I have done is I have also kitted out basically every single one of our units, every single one of our companions, should I say, in really good armor. Now, the only thing that I could do to make this, well, should we say, to make our team of companions better, the only thing that I could do is disable the penalties for wearing heavy armor for archers. That is basically the only thing. Oh, this guy. You need to wear some things, don't you, fellow? Yeah, he doesn't have even 14 strength, so that's the reason why I haven't given him anything. But can he wear this? No, he can't wear that either, because that's 14 strength. Great. I'm actually I'm actually kind of wanting him to level up, because otherwise he's going to be pretty weak. Everyone else has a pretty decent helm, apart from Sarthos, obviously. Sarthos obviously has very low strength as well. And otherwise, everyone's doing pretty well, with the exception of Brynden, who, unfortunately, because he is our intelligence guy, he really hasn't spec'd that much into strength. So we might have to do that a little bit later on as well. So let's just get another one of these vanguards right there, and we can now head onward. So basically, this is what's going on so far. So this is basically what's happened. There are a bunch of Dragonstone vassals in this area, at least as far as I could recall, because I was heading down here to try and defend Harvest Hall from this siege. And, hello, we have some more Reach vassals. Kind of strange that Dragonstone's not here. Oh, it seems like Longtable is under siege as well. Well, this is not very good. Oh, there's literally 0 in here? Are you serious? What are they doing? What are these guys doing? I have no idea. Oh well, never mind. Ooh, look at this. Adam Whitehead has switched from the Stormlands to Lease. That is a weird decision. That is a really weird decision. Oh, well, never mind, never mind. Okay, so as I said, ooh, here we go, nice, another 4,100, that's really good. So as I said in a previous episode, Brendan leveling up to level 11 right there, that's actually really good for us, because that means we can get the next level of all of his medicinal skills. Oh yes, that's going to be so good for our surgery and wound treatment, and I'm actually going to be leveling up his crossbows, because I know that this is actually a thing. I've done this before in the past, where if you get a crossbow and you give it to your medic companion or whoever doesn't necessarily want to get into big battles and things because they're not really good with their amount of strength, you can give them a crossbow and they'll usually get a decent amount of experience going forward. I do know about that, but usually if the mod does not necessarily have good ranged weapons, so to speak, then you don't really have a good shot at doing that. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Put a tax on sheep, cows, chickens, wine, spices. I suppose spices. Well, the nobles are outraged, but we lose 10 renown, but we gain 1,500 coins. I'll take it. I will take that, no problem at all. I think that's actually a pretty decent trade, because 10 renown for me at this point, I've got 180 company capacity, and if I get more and more fiefs, then that will artificially increase my maximum company size anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Cider Hall is a siege tower. That will not be done today. My apologies, we will not do that. Ah, it seems like someone is attempting to take Harvest Hall again, so it seems like I will have to head back there. Who's that? He's doing battle with some villagers. How honorable of you. Yes, very nice. Okay, well, let's go after Garth. I can't help but think of Wayne's World when I think of someone called Garth, but there you go. Anyway, return the sheep to the village and ask for no reward. Yeah, there we go. Honor, a little bit of renown right there. Alright, so this guy is actually managing to escape pretty easily. I'm actually kind of surprised that he is so incredibly fast. We are actually faster than he is, but apparently it doesn't matter. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Dragonstone's not willing to help me with this guy. Could you just attack him? Okay, apparently not. Apparently they have something much more interesting to do. Haha, I doubt it. Anyway, let's have a look at this guy. Kingswood Outlaws right there. Wow. Right, okay, so this is actually a really nice idea. I don't know, I think we could probably kill them pretty easily, so what I'm going to do is I will head back to Crow's Nest, because that is my closest fief, and I'm just going to place a whole bunch of units in there, with the exception of the most powerful ones in my army, and then we'll come back here and try to recruit and rescue as many units as we can. Although, is that a good idea? Well, I'm actually pretty lucky by the looks of things, because I know that in a world of ice and fire, there are many reasons why doing a straight-up siege and attacking with your soldiers straight up, you know, with a big assault against the enemy, is a bad idea. There are many reasons why that is a bad idea. And in A Clash of Kings, the mod creators have added something similar to that effect. It doesn't happen all the time, but every you know, if you take a little bit too long to create your ladders and to get those constructed, then you will start to get counterattacks, or you'll start to get some kind of event that will eliminate, at least from my experience, at least 30 of your units, and they will just die. They will just die. There will be some of them that will be knocked unconscious, but the majority of the time that they will just literally perish. And that's really harsh. Thankfully, I did not have that happen this time around. It has happened in the past, and I've just had to roll with it. But, you know, that's just how it is sometimes. That's just how it is. Anyway, we are going to be doing another big siege here. We're going to be attempting to take Stumbleton. Yes, Stumbleton. There's a reference for you. If you've seen any of my old Clash of Kings series, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, then Stumbleton is literally just because, well, maybe I won't tell you. Anyway, let's move on here and attempt to get up this ladder. This is going to be a relatively similar time to how we have done previously, especially in Ashford. I think Ashford was one of the places that we had to be very careful of because of how many crossbowmen they had. But once we were able to burn through the majority of their infantry and cavalry forces, we were basically able to have the run of the place, really, but it was going to take us quite a bit of time, quite a bit of grinding to get through all of those units. So let's see if we can do a similar thing here. All my forces... Oh, good work, Sathos. I'm actually kind of surprised he's still alive. As you can see, he's running up here with no shield, and there's also another fellow with no shield. Oh, armed villager. Good work, armed villager. Let's see how you do going up there. Please, by all means, go first. Is he going to die? I actually kind of wish he wouldn't, to be honest. I think it would be really awesome if he would stay alive, but I have a feeling he's probably going to die pretty fast. I mean, that is to be expected. He has literally no armor on, or very little armor. Oh, there we go. He actually got himself knocked unconscious. So, he is still alive, technically. Anyway, let's see what we can do about eliminating these crossbowmen as best I can. Once again, I'm not going to be using my cleaver for the most part, unless I have to get my shield out for some reason or another. Now, this is obviously in my opinion, the most efficient way of, taking enemies out here, because this is just an amazing weapon. I was actually looking at the marketplace, by the way, in Ashford, and I thought to myself, maybe I can find something better. And I actually did find something that might have been slightly better on the damage front, but it was much slower in terms of speed. It was a two-handed mace, very similar in style to the mace that was, well, shall we say, a quest reward in a previous version of Clash of Kings. I believe actually someone mentioned that mace and its name. What was it? Was it called something like Frostbane or something like that? I can't remember the name of it, unfortunately, but it was something to do with frost or cold or something along those lines. So yeah, but thank you very much for reminding me about that. I just forget. Anyway. Point is, that mace is available basically in every marketplace now, kind of, but the speed of it is very, very slow. It was about 75 speed. So if you do have a low two-handed weapon proficiency, it's going to be really harsh. Well, I'm not entirely sure what these crossbowmen are doing over here, but it seems like I'm the only one to attempt to take them out, so we're going to have to do something about them. Unfortunately, they do seem pretty good at fighting. They are blocking me, so on and so forth, so let's just try and keep them guessing as much as possible. And that's also another reason. Did you see that right there? That's also another reason why I really, really enjoy using blunt weapons, because every single time you hit an enemy, you have a chance, I don't know how much chance it actually is, but you have a chance to knock down the opponent in some way. So in other words, they will get knocked down on the floor and they will be completely defenseless against any follow-up attack, at least for maybe 2 seconds or so. So it's not a huge window, but it is enough to get that little bit of damage to hopefully take them out or something like that. Anyway, I've actually decided to come this way because I think my units are, yes, there they are. They're actually fighting on the stairs, so I thought to myself, oh, I'll just go round the side. Why not? Usually I'd be a bit stupid about this, and I would actually, try to get through the old-fashioned way and just go through the front, but I'm using my noggin a little bit. I'm using my noggin and trying to get through here and just help out my forces just a little bit. Obviously, these guys are vanguards, so I might have to jump down here a little bit because we really don't want to take too much damage from their two-handed swords. I mean, they are pretty significant. Look at that, 10 damage from that guy, and we're wearing some amazing armor right now. We've got like 63 body armor, so you would expect me to not take that much damage, but obviously vanguards, they're very much likely to do more, especially if they use their thrusting attack, and they actually get a bit of speed bonus on it as well. But so far, I think we're doing okay, but I am taking some negligible damage here and there, and that damage adds up. This looks to be one of those cool sieges that you get to run through the streets of the town in question. I really enjoy these because in these kinds of situations, you just thank your lucky stars you're not standing on a ladder on the battlements consistently fighting the same units over and over again, because personally, after so many hours, playing Warband, I'm not a big fan of the native sieges. I mean, I've made my my opinion known quite a few times. And initially, when you start playing Warband, you're like, yeah, these are cool, these are cool sieges and so on. Yeah, they're cool. They are cool. But after however many times that you've seen it, it's kind of like, oh, could Could I have a different one, please? You know, something like that. There are different there are different layouts and everything, but these are the kinds of sieges that I really like. And mods like Gekkokujo, that's a fantastic mod if you like medieval Japanese sort of era. And Warsword Conquest, that's fantastic if you're a Warhammer fan and you've got, you know, and you want a completely different siege experience there as well, because there are some unique sieges there, which is really, really fun. And then obviously you have these very, very much themed mods, very, very themed mods in the form of the Last Days of the Third Age, for example. That is utterly fantastic in its castle layouts and towns and so on and so forth, because they're extremely accurate to their subject material. And that brings me back to a Clash of Kings, of course, because we have this amazing siege where we're going through the streets of the town. It's realistic, you know. You would think that this would actually happen, you know. You're not going to, well, I mean, maybe sometimes, but the point is that hitting the same enemies again and again, as I said, on the same ladder over and over is probably not something you really want to be spending your time on too much. But going through the streets of the enemy town, leaving bodies in your wake, that's just fun, you know. It's a lot of fun to see that and to do that kind of to be in that kind of situation, and I think that's really cool. And that's the reason why mods like this that give you that additional siege variety are very important, because obviously I'm not saying anything against the mods that don't have unique sieges or anything like that. I'm just saying that I really appreciate the extra work that goes into it, because I can only imagine how much work it is to literally allow people to run through the towns and so on. I have no idea. I really don't. I can't even comment on it, because as I say, I have no experience modding or anything like that. But you know, I think that that's just really cool. And even if there is a mod that doesn't have unique sieges, there's bound to be something else about the mod that is unique or enjoyable in some other way. And there's many of them. There's absolutely many of them, and that's exactly the reason why Warband is such a game that is still played by thousands of people today. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, it came out in when did it come out? 2010? Didn't it come out in 2010, 2010 or something like that? That's insane. So, you know, it's been, 9 years? Yeah, that's amazing. That is really amazing. That the modding community must literally pat themselves on the back, to be honest, because without them, I mean, you know, Warband is a pretty lengthy game as it is, but without the modding community, how much are you really going to get out of it? You're probably going to get maybe 50 hours or something like that. 50 hours, maybe 100 if you are wanting to have a play of, you know, various kinds of different builds and things like that. So maybe one time you want to use bows and another time you want to use polearms or something like that. So maybe you get, you know, 100 hours or something. And then obviously there's the multiplayer component. So who knows, if you're a fan of multiplayer, then obviously you may spend another 100 hours. So maybe maximum you get about 250 hours out of the game, which is a fantastic amount. Don't get me wrong, that's a fantastic amount. But I know people that have, I don't know, easily over 2,500, easily over 3,000, 4,000 hours, literally just because of multiplayer and mods. And that's crazy, you know. That is really quite amazing, and it's a testament to the modding community at large as well, because obviously there are multiplayer only mods as well. And so even if you are only a fan of multiplayer, you're going to find a mod that you really like and have a grand old time. Anyway, we're going to grind away at these crossbowmen, and oh, seems like that's actually it. Alright, so we eliminated 454, we gained 27 renown. That's exactly kind of the reason also why losing 10 renown here or there is really not a big deal, because we're going to gain 27 from that anyway. As you can see, Elias got 178 knockouts. So you could expect him to be some kind of boxer, but he's probably not going to be allowed to take his wonderful two-handed warhammer into the ring with him, is he? No, probably not. Anyway, let's take those vanguards, and I suppose I will take some additional peasants here. I'm not a big fan of taking peasants in general, but if they are the only units that we can take, then I suppose that's okay. Anyway, let's take some bolts, and I think, yeah, you know what? We're going to get a crossbow. think we're going to get a crossbow. I am going to actually ask Stannis for this as well. He's probably not going to give it to me, let's face it. But it is going to be something quite nice to do just so we can get a little bit of extra cash. Because if we don't get it, then he's going to give me some money. So I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, I'm actually going to buy this crossbow right now. And I was actually hoping for a siege crossbow, to be honest. But apparently they don't have one at the moment, which is kind of a shame. But I guess what can you do? That's not really a big deal. Alright, so let's go and speak to Bryndon real quick. And we will actually give him this. He doesn't have a horse either, which is good, so he can actually shoot this. He's using an absolutely awful weapon as well, so I really do need to get him some more strength, to be honest, because him having this armor and this helm, it's basically making him into one of the weakest units that we have available, and that's just not something I'm willing to stand for. So let's just try and, well, I'm going to try and remember to level up his strength next time, because he's now reached a pretty decent level with his medic skills, so he should be pretty good there. Anyway, I'm going to wait here for some time, and let's see what actually happens. The long line of reach of vassals has, well, no end by the looks of things, and yes, you can see right here that they are sending in huge amounts of units to their death. Well, actually not even their death. I'm actually just knocking them unconscious. I mean, let's face it, realistically, if someone were to hit you with this amazingly powerful two-handed warhammer on the head, you'd probably not survive, let's face it. So yeah, anyway, point is, gameplay-wise, they're not dying. You know, they're not dying, although, you know, they're being humiliated quite a lot by, you know, getting knocked unconscious, especially Lord Vortimer Crane, who has apparently eliminated himself, or, well, decided to walk up and get hit by the never-ending slaughter that Elias is capable of. And I just wonder where Niles and Fraser are, to be honest. But anyway, let's see if I can maybe take these guys out. There's about 230 enemy units attempting to take Tumbleton back. And this was obviously quite expected. I really did expect them to attempt to take it back, but I was not anticipating them being so, well, easy to defend against, I guess you could say. I'm actually eliminating all of the enemy vassals as well, which is actually really bad, because I do end up losing 2 relation with them, so I guess that's kind of annoying, but can't really do much about it. If anyone else is not eliminating them, then they're going to just kill a lot of my own units, and I don't really want that to happen. But this is generally a good way, by the way, to get, shall we say, to kind of prevent your units from dying. That's kind of also a reason why I decided to go for more of a warrior archetype build. I know that there are other mods, you know, in existence. Haha, yes, obviously there are other mods in existence. Anyway, point is, there are other mods that very much favor a intelligence build, or, you know, maybe an agility based build if you want to be really quick, and if the mod particularly features dodge as a main skill, because I love Blood and Steel for that particular feature. Having dodge is just such a fun mechanic. Obviously, it can go both ways. Sometimes it's not fun because the enemy has it, and sometimes it's amazing because you get to dodge, like, I don't know, 10 attacks in a row or something like that if you have a huge amount of it. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to continue defending against this long line of reach units that are coming in from all the way over there, and we'll see how many we end up taking down. Well, there it is. We were able to achieve victory. We only gained 1 renown for it, and we're gonna have a look and see. Yeah, as you can see here, they're already escaping. 1, 2, 3. Ah, we did get this guy. Okay, so I'm going to be taking him prisoner, even though generally I would like to let them go for the honor and so on and so forth. But generally at the moment I would like to get the cash. So this guy, where is he from? I'm actually unsure where he's from, so I guess I'm actually going to take him prisoner. He's actually from the Riverlands. Is he? No, he's from the Westerlands. Sorry, my bad. I read this incorrectly. Anyway, he is from the Westerlands, which is actually fine. Unfortunately, it has reduced his relation from 37 to 7. So I'm a bit in two minds about that, but I suppose what can you do about it? Sometimes you're just going to have to do what you have to do to get some cash, you know, considering we don't have that much in the treasury anymore. I'm currently dwindling in what I currently have in my inventory, and obviously we do have the Iron Bank as well, and the Iron Bank only has about 12,000. So that's obviously going to be a bit of a problem as well once that once we take the money out of there. I mean, I don't exactly know how we're supposed to do it, but anyway, that will be it for this episode. We have done what I had attempted to do, which is to try and cut off this area from the Reach. And as you can see, their territory is significantly reduced. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.